Hello everyone, this is Stephanie, your CSA coach, and it is week 11A of our 2026 season. This is a second live for this week because somehow my live from yesterday disappeared. I don't know what I did wrong. I probably just pressed the wrong button or didn't save it. I don't know what happened. So we're gonna redo it, and this is going to be a little bit different because we've had last night to consume some of our produce and everything is in storage. So you're gonna see actually how I store a lot of the stuff, but we'll make do. I apologize for the delay and for not having this up. I'm not sure what happened. I did go live at 3 yesterday. The one quick announcement, well, two things actually. The farm party is this Saturday, so refer to your email from Monday for details on that. Make sure you RSVP and let our farmers know if you're coming. The second thing, there's a lot of U-picks. So when you go into the fields, make sure you're prepared. There was lots of storms yesterday. If it's thunder and lightning, we can't go into the field. So you can go, like if yesterday you hit the storm, you can actually go pick on Thursday between 1 and 7. If you're a Thursday pick and it's storming or the weather's not good, you can go on Tuesday to pick. Just make sure you're hitting the same week. The U-pick containers. So there's a small pint container. That's what we used for our cherry tomatoes. There's also a larger quart container. Those are both the cardboard. The quart container is what our tomatillos came in. We didn't use that for the U-picks this week, so that shouldn't even make it into the fields this week at all. There's a green container that we used for the shishitos, the peppers, and the ground cherries. So that makes for really easy picking because it's much sturdier than the cardboard containers, especially with all the rain. So make sure you're looking when you pick up on the sign that's to your right, and it will tell you how much you're picking. Follow the arrows for the U-picks, and everything's easy from there. But make sure you're doing what you should be doing, or picking the size container that's identified on that board. All right, so jumping right into this week's share, we have a couple items that we've already eaten. So we had U-pick cherry tomatoes. Those stay on the counter. We got to pick a pint. Those obviously didn't make it to day 2 of in our house. We ate them just as a snack. I washed them up and put them on the counter, and they were gone before last night. But they're stored on the counter, eaten as a snack, thrown into salads, used in bruschetta or like a pico de gallo, used in salads. Lots of options for cherry tomatoes. So those are gone. Our Cubanelle and green peppers also gone because I have a little helper with me this week, and he ate a whole green pepper and a Cubanelle last night for a snack. And also they are being used in this week's recipe, so those are gone. But those are stored in the crisper drawer of the fridge. Once you're ready to use them, you can chop them up and eat them raw. You can use them on sheet pan meals. You can use them in the grill packets. There's a great chicken fajita sheet pan meal that you could use. What else? They're obviously being used in this week's recipe. They're great in salads. You could use them as a pizza topping. So lots of options for the Cubanelle and the green pepper. The third thing that I'm missing is the tomatillos. Tomatillos are the green tomato looking things with the husks. You leave the husks on until you're ready to use them. Once you're ready to use them, peel the husks, wash them. They kind of have like a little waxy, sticky covering. Once you wash them, that comes off. And then most often they're either roasted or grilled. So there's links to a salsa verde recipe. This week's recipe will showcase them, which is why I don't have them. I worked on the recipe yesterday. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. So tomatillos, usually stored on the counter. You can also store them in the fridge. I most often store them in the counter if I'm going to use them within the first few days. And then if I'm going away for a long weekend, I'll throw them in the fridge to keep them fresher. All right, so those are the 3 items I'm missing. Everything else I have. So we have tomatoes. Tomatoes are stored on the counter. Once you're ready to use them, slice them up, use them on sandwiches. You can definitely use them in salads. on burgers. You can chop them up and use them in a roasted tomato sauce or tomato soup. Pico de gallo, bruschetta, lots of options for tomatoes. Very easy to use tomatoes. We have cilantro. Cilantro I took out of the rubber band, threw it into a glass of water, and this gets stored in the fridge just like this. Cilantro is great for sauces. It's great for any of your Mexican dishes. Pico de gallo for guac. There's a cilantro lime rice. I know that's on the website somewhere. That's really good. Uses quite a bit of the cilantro. The shrimp ceviche from last week used quite a bit of cilantro, and this week's recipe is also going to use cilantro. So stay tuned for that. We have a tiny cantaloupe that smells delicious. This is stored in the fridge. Once you're ready to use it, slice it in half, pull out those seeds, chop it up and eat it as a snack. It's great as a side for breakfast, for lunches. You can use it with, use it on top of yogurt in a granola bowl. Pairs really well with like a cottage cheese. We're gonna work on a recipe that incorporates cantaloupe. So if it works out, you might see that in the next few weeks. We have eggplant. Eggplant gets stored in the fridge. It doesn't like to be moist, so we generally wrap it in like a paper towel so that absorbs the moisture, and then store it in the crisper drawer or in the bottom of your fridge. Once you're ready to use it, this is most often roasted or grilled. You can do like a parm, an eggplant parm. So you can slice this is a larger eggplant, so slice it into discs, put it into egg, then into breadcrumbs, regular or gluten-free, and then fry it, bake it. You can also do those rings and grill it. So that's a good side. There's also an eggplant dip on the website. We have cucumbers. Cucumbers are stored in the crisper drawer of the fridge. Super easy to use. You can peel them or you can leave the skin on, just clean them really well. Pickles. There's a cucumber salad. You can just slice them up and eat them. That's what we've been doing. Great just as a side snack. We have beets. These are golden beets. So the tops have already been removed. I did not remove them. This is how we received them from the farm. I threw them into a Ziploc bag. These can be eaten raw, so clean them really well, peel them, shred them, throw them on salad. You can pickle them. There's 2 recipes for pickled beets on the website. You can roast them. You can also grill them. We got to pick the wax beans. So this is all we have left. We ate a bunch of these just raw. So I cleaned them up, threw them into a larger bowl actually, and then we were just munching on them throughout the night. These are stored in the fridge. You can actually clean them and store them in the fridge so they're ready to use or ready to snack on. They can be eaten raw, which is what we've been doing, or you can cook them. Lightly steamed is great. You can roast them. You can add them to salads. We got to pick 1 hot pepper. Hot pepper is stored in the fridge, in the crisper drawer. I don't remember the couple of different options. I think there were 3 or 4 different options of hot peppers, and everything was well noted, their heat level and labeled. These are used to add spice to a dish. So if you keep the inside seeds and membranes, you're gonna have more spiciness no matter what pepper it is. If you remove that, less spiciness. You can make the hot pepper honey on the website. Great for your pico de gallos, your guacs. You can add them to any dish to add like a chili or things like that to add heat. Summer squash. We've been getting a lot of summer squash stored in the fridge in the crisper drawer. Once you're ready to use it, you can eat them raw. So I like to thinly slice them and throw them on top of salads. You can shred them and use them for baking. That's an easy way to preserve them. So I shred it, measure out that shredded summer squash and throw it into a Ziploc bag and throw it into the freezer. And then I just pull that out and use it in baked goods. Great in a stir fry, great in a sheet pan veggie meal, also great grilled. So you can slice them long ways, just add a little oil and throw them on the grill. You get those nice grill marks and it's a great side. There's a bunch of recipes for summer squash on the website. We have romaine. So my romaine, I'm not gonna pull it all the way out, but it's in there, is already in a Debbie Meyer green bag, thrown in the fridge. Once you're ready to use it, wash it. You can chop it up and then throw it into your salad spinner, get it nice and dry. Great as a base for a salad, also great on burgers, on tacos, and on sandwiches. I believe we have 2 more items. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. I have our shishitos. Now, we have not used our shishitos from last week, so this is a double batch. This is last week's shishitos and this week's shishitos. So I combined them and just put them in a Ziploc bag. Obviously, I need to figure out what I'm using them for this week. But they are stored in the fridge, in a Ziploc or in a Debbie Meyer green bag, or in a like Tupperware container. Once you're ready to use them, they can be eaten raw. Most often they are cooked, so there's a bunch of recipes on the website. Blistered shishitos, you can grill shishitos, so put them on skewers, throw them on the grill. I think I also have like a pickled shishito recipe on the website, so options there. The other thing we got to pick was ground cherries. So ground cherries, we talked about them last week, but we're picking from the ground, hence the name. They have husks on them, just like our tomatillos. When we peel them off, that's what we get on the inside. That's the part we eat. So you can eat them just like this. You can get fancy and dip them in chocolate and use them as a fun snack. They are fantastic in salads. They're really good just plain raw as a snack. You can bake with them. So a lot of people bake with them. They pair really well with seasonal produce. So you can do a ground cherry crisp, you can do puff pastries, you can do pies. So they work for a lot of different things. You would just take off all the husks, pull them off, and then use them like that. These freeze really well. So again, this is last week's and this week's, so I have a double batch. I will probably pull them all off and freeze them, and then they're great for baked dishes throughout the season. I will also probably pull some tonight and make a bowl of them cleaned just for a snack. They taste like candy. You can dry them too. You can throw them in your dehydrator and they dry like kind of like a raisin. So that's another option for those. I think that's it. We also got to pick flowers. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. I'm so sorry that the live did not get saved from yesterday. Hopefully this one saves, and it will also be on YouTube. Make sure you're paying attention to the emails that come on Monday, the lives on Tuesday, and then the recipe is posted on Thursday. I will see you guys all again next Tuesday, hopefully not before then. If there are any questions, make sure you tag me in the Facebook post that you put up. And also, if you're finding any cool recipes, fun things that you're trying, send us a link so that we all can try them. Thank you.